So when you hear the name Pink, what immediately springs to mind? The powerful vocals and the aerial stunts. Punk rock princess who never bit her tongue. Come on, this might be the same woman who sold over 135 million copies while literally spinning upside down in the air during most of her performances like a glittery superhero on Red Bull, but behind the jaw-dropping acts and raspy anthems is a woman with a seriously scandalous streak. The real question is, though, is whether Pink is still the wild and tells it like a queen we've always loved, or if time and motherhood have finally tamed the beast. This is Pink's life like you've never seen it before, raw, rowdy, and full of the drama they never included in the press release. Alice Beth Moore, yeah, the firecracker we all now know as Pink, came into the world on September 8, 1979 in good old Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Her mom Judith was a nurse and her dad James Moore was an insurance salesman, but don't let that white picket fence setup fool you, cause from day one Alicia was trouble with a capital T. You know, that one kid on the block who's always climbing trees saying the wrong thing at the wrong time and somehow always gets away with it. Yeah, that was Pink. But hold up. What exactly is Pink's story? Cause one thing's for sure, nobody just pops out of the womb rocking a leather jacket and flipping off the world. Okay, so let's rewind. Even as a kid Pink was, well, let's just say a handful. We all know the type: stubborn, curious, and never backs down. In fact, for a long time Pink painted herself as the villain in her own childhood stories. That was until plot twist, she met her 5th grade teacher who made her realize she wasn't the worst kid alive after all. Cause just as we've come to know her, Pink may have always acted like she didn't care what people thought, but underneath that punk rock bravado this woman is one of the biggest, realest hearts in Hollywood, and like they always say, behind every wild child is someone who's genuinely hurting. So what was the cause of Pink's hurt? Her parents' divorce. By the time Pink was 10 her parents were officially done, but here's where it gets interesting. Instead of being devastated, Pink was actually relieved. Yep, you heard that right. Turns out growing up in a house filled with yelling matches and slammed doors will do that to a kid, but don't get it twisted. Divorce is hard on any kid, and trust me, not even Pink could tough girl her way out of that kind of emotional baggage. Now after the divorce, if Pink was just a big mouth, rule-breaking detention type of kid, she literally went rogue after that. By age 14 she was already doing drugs, hitting up the clubs, getting arrested. You name it. But here's the thing though, when you maintain a tough persona but you're literally angry and filled with pain inside, what do? You channel all that energy, of course, and for Pink that came through writing lyrics. So by 14 this girl was already chasing her music dreams, performing in Philadelphia clubs. She adopted the nickname Pink, and of course, just like everything else, even that one had a crazy history to it. Sure, the name was inspired by the character Mr. Pink from the movie Reservoir Dogs. I ordered coffee right now, we've been here a longing time. She's only filmed my cup 3 times. I mean, when I order coffee I want to film 6 times, but that was the G-rated version. The other story, wasn't exactly PG-13. So when Pink was a kid at camp, her crush pulled down her swimsuit and she had no underwear on cause they've literally been swimming. Total embarrassment, right? Well, Pink literally turned bright red. Kids, being the absolute worst, started calling her Pink, and of course she just owned it. But that's not all. The last reason, well, here it comes. From the horse's mouth herself. My friend had never seen a white girl's vagina before, and he was like, it's pink. However, how precisely did she use LA to transform all of that madness into a multimillion-dollar success at the age of 16? Reed, our girl, was already signed to a record label with her group Choice, which included 2 other girls, Sharon Flanagan and Chrissy Conway. Cute name, but spoiler alert, by the time she was 18, the group was done, and it appeared that Reed was no longer feeling the group thing. Choice was given the ultimatum to go solo or go home, and thank God she did so, because 135 million records later, as we all know how that turned out in 2000. Pink made her big debut in February with her first solo single, There You Go, which peaked at number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. However, she didn't stop there. 2 months later, her first album, Can't Take Me Home, was released to commercial success and featured hits like Most Girls. If there is one universal truth in the music industry, it is that every artist eventually faces the same nightmare: no creative control. You Make Me Sick went double platinum with over 2 million copies sold in the US alone. America was enamored, but this is Hollywood. You can't soar to fame without dragging a little scandal behind you, and with someone as raw, bold, and downright unfiltered as Pink. Oh, you know, the drama is just getting started. Indeed, it's like the label owns your soul when you're first starting out. They choose the songs, the sound, the vibe, pretty much everything except your shoe size. And guess what? That didn't sit well with Pink's debut album, Can't Take Me Home. Yes, it was amazing, but let's face it, it was dripping in early 2000s R&B, which wasn't exactly her thing. Smooth, polished, radio-friendly, basically not the gritty soul-bearing rebel we know and love. However, Pink played the game until she was prepared to flip the damn board by the time she began working on her second album. Born Misunderstood, Pink was done being a pop puppet and didn't want to be some carbon copy pop princess that the industry had discovered. She quickly got in touch with Linda Perry, the former singer of the Four Non-Blondes, but hold on, because it's Pink that we're talking about here. Of course, there had to be some crazy backstage drama in that collaboration because Pink was a huge fan of Linda, so when she was looking through her makeup artist's book and saw her phone number, she seized the opportunity and did what any slightly insane pop star would do, she called her. However, it wasn't just a friendly hello. Pink essentially said, "Work with me or I'll stalk you." Normally, most people would have blocked the number or contacted security, but Linda, who enjoyed the crazy, answered yes instead of ghosting Pink, and she is grateful for that because their tumultuous little relationship gave birth to the lead single, Get the Party Started, from Misunderstood, one of the most revolutionary albums of the early 2000s, not only topped the chart but also burst, reaching number 4 and instantly became a worldwide party anthem. Okay, so we've covered the fame, music, and craziness, but what about Pink's personal life? Let's face it, her heartbreaks have inspired some of her greatest hits ever. If you want to know the backstory of songs like So What, buckle up, this love tale is straight out of a soap opera. Here comes Carey Hart, a professional motocross racer, certified bad boy, and the man who would eventually become the love of Pink's chaotic life. The two met in 2001, and when I say sparks flew, I mean fireworks and the entire damn pyrotechnic show. However, the problem is that when two people are strong-willed, spicy, and allergic to authority, drama is bound to develop. By 2003, the relationship hit the brakes, and everyone assumed, well, that's the end of that. However, Pink doesn't handle breakups as the average person would. After Carey made several attempts to pop the question and she said, not yet. In 2005, she completely overturned the script and proposed to him. Yes, our girl actually held up a sign that read, "Will you marry me?" during one of his races. They got married in January 2006 in Costa Rica because, of course, they did nothing about it. This couple is basic, but surprise. By 2008, they were donezo, and not the quiet we've grown apart kind of done. They were talking about screaming matches, dramatic fights, and allegedly throwing objects at each other. No kidding, it was giving Real Housewives with helmets energy, but one of Pink's most famous anthems came from the ashes of that fiery split. So What, and let's be honest, that song carried the entire world through breakups, gym sessions, and wine-fueled rage fits for years. But guess what? Turns out these two couldn't quit each other. In 2010 they got back together, and this time they were in it for real. By June 2011 they welcomed their daughter Willow, and then came their son Jameson. In 2016 was her love life with her husband a rocky ride? Absolutely, but who wants a boring love story anyway? 'Cause sometimes love isn't about perfection, it's about refusing to let go no matter how wild the ride gets. Alright, let's take a sharp left turn from heartbreak and head straight into royal territory. Did you know that once upon a time Prince William personally invited Pink to perform at his 21st birthday bash? Like the Prince of Wales, the future King of England had our girl on his guest list. Sounds like a career highlight, right? Well, not for Pink. She straight up turned him down cold. So what could possibly make someone say no to Buckingham Palace level clout? Oh, grab a drink and lean in, because this one will make you see Pink in a whole new light. It turns out that Pink is more than simply a tabloid headline and a powerful voice. Since she was in elementary school, Pink has been an ardent supporter of animal rights. She has always felt that animals shouldn't be hurt for sport, fashion, or entertainment. so when she learned that Prince William was allegedly jabbing spears into animals during hunting trips in Africa, that didn't sit well with her. Although most celebrities would smile, nod, and take the money, Pink isn't built that way. If she believes in something, you can be sure she will speak up, even if it means declining royalty. Will isn't the only celebrity who has tasted Pink's righteous rage. She has come for every celebrity who dares to wear fur, bringing them down for the cruelty behind those designer looks. To be honest, it's quite iconic in a field that is fixated on appearance. What has Pink been up to in 2025? Well, she's still that girl while half of Hollywood is fighting for relevance. Pink refuses to play nice when it comes to her beliefs, and let's face it, the world needs more unbothered queens like her who aren't afraid to ruffle a few royal feathers. Are we even surprised that Pink, who has been saving the world for decades with a microphone in one hand and a harness in the other, is thriving and flipping through the sky like a rock and roll Tinkerbell while showing no concern in the process? In January, she lit up the stage at the Fire Aid Benefit Concert, a massive event that raised money for victims of the devastating Los Angeles wildfires. Pink actually softened like has the rebellious loudmouth pop rock goddess finally mellowed out. Pink herself says she still feels like the immature crazy little girl she was at 14, but let's be real, 2 kids in a marriage will humble anyone, but let's be clear, motherhood hasn't tamed her, it's just made her more savage in the best way. PTA meetings sure, but don't cross her in the carpool lane, and let's not forget the real T. Pink is sitting on a cool 100 million net worth. That's right, legend. Oh, she rewrote the definition, so after selling over 135 million records, snatching up more than 100 awards including 3 Grammys, 2 Brits, a Daytime Emmy, and a whole lot of industry respect. Thank you iHeart for this moment. It has, and to all the artists here, I'm so inspired by all of you. Thank you for being your true selves and even being crowned Woman of the Year. What exactly will Pink be remembered for? Let's be real for a sec, it's not just the trophies or the charts, it's the chaos, the honesty, the unapologetic realness bird to the industry while serving vocals that could shatter glass. Completely iconic. So whether you love her, hate her, or still can't believe she once hung upside down mid-con while belting glitter in the air, just know this: Pink will always be the girl who never played the game and still won.